When I closed on the house, I didn't tell anyone. Not my parents, not my sister, no one. I signed the papers in silence, my hands steady, my smile restrained. It was the first time I'd owned something that couldn't be taken from me, or so I thought. The storm began 3 days later. Mom called first, her voice bright, too bright. "You bought a house?" she asked. I could hear the grin in her tone. "That's wonderful, sweetheart. Send us the address. We'll come by this weekend." Her words dripped with excitement, but there was something underneath, something rehearsed. I told her I wanted to settle in first, to unpack, to breathe. The silence that followed was sharp. Then she said, "You should have talked to us before making such a big decision." That was the first crack. When I was growing up, I trusted them blindly. They were the kind of parents who liked control disguised as care. Every decision I made had to be approved. Friends, clothes, even college. When I got my first job, they wanted a copy of my contract for safety. I thought it was love. It wasn't. It was ownership. And my sister Emma, she was the golden one. Married at 25, 3 kids by 30. The house my parents bought her was just a small gift. I never envied her. I just noticed how easily love flowed in her direction, and how conditionally it came to me. Still, I played the role, the quiet one, the dependable one, until I didn't. It was my father who slipped up. He came to see the new place uninvited. He walked through every room like a man inspecting property he'd funded. Then, halfway through the tour, he said, "This will be perfect for Emma and the kids." I froze. "What do you mean?" He smiled. "Well, they're outgrowing their apartment. We thought, since you're alone, maybe they could move in. Just for a while. A while." I asked him who "we" was. He didn't answer. That night, I checked my mother's messages on our shared family group. She'd already told Emma, "Don't worry about the rent increase. Jack's new house has 3 bedrooms. You'll all fit perfectly." Perfectly. Like I didn't exist. I didn't scream, didn't confront, didn't beg for boundaries. Instead, I began planning. I transferred the deed from my personal name to a trust under my initials. I set up new locks, new cameras, and an alarm code only I knew. Then, I drafted a polite message for my parents. "I've decided not to have anyone move in. I need this home for myself." I hit send. 3 minutes later, the calls began. Mom's first message was guilt wrapped in concern. "We're just trying to keep the family together." Then came the anger. "How could you be so selfish? Emma's struggling." And finally, the threat. "If you do this, don't bother coming around again." That one made me smile. The real blow came a week later when I got a notice from my bank. Someone had tried to access my mortgage account. My mother's name popped up on the failed authorization log. She'd actually tried to transfer ownership. That was the moment something in me snapped. Not in rage, but in clarity. I called my lawyer the next morning, explained everything. We secured the trust tighter than ever, flagged all financial accounts, and documented the attempted fraud. Then I waited. 2 weeks later, they showed up. My parents, my sister, her husband, all standing at my doorstep, boxes in hand, smiles tight and forced. My mother gestured at the driveway. "We're here. The movers are behind us." I opened the door just enough for them to see the camera blinking above it. "This isn't your house," I said calmly, "and you're trespassing." My father's face turned red. "You can't talk to us like that." I handed him a folded document, a copy of the trust ownership. His eyes skimmed it, confusion flickering into disbelief. "What is this?" "My insurance policy," I said, "and your exit." My sister tried to speak, but I closed the door before she could. The lock clicked like a gavel. They called me ungrateful, heartless, said I'd abandoned family. Maybe I had. But family doesn't plan your life without asking. Family doesn't move into your future like it's theirs. When I found out they'd told everyone I kicked them out, I didn't correct the story. I didn't need to. Truth has a way of revealing itself, quietly, mercilessly. Now my house is silent, peaceful. Every creak, every echo belongs to me. Sometimes I catch myself thinking about that day, their faces, their disbelief, the moment they realized control had slipped through their fingers. That's when I smile. Because revenge doesn't always need fire. Sometimes it's as simple as a locked door and the sound of it staying shut.